Desperate times call for desperate measures. Or do they? Is Urban Sentinel? Let's get into it. So, this is a humidifier. It's one of those cube humidifiers. It raises up and it sits inside or on top of this tank. Holds up to, I believe, almost 50 liters worth of water. But this is not what the video is about. It's not about a review about the dehumidifier. In my research looking for a dehumidifier and comparing them to different models, I started to come across a lot of videos on YouTube about prepping and emergency uses of water from the dehumidifier. Problem is that is unsafe, and I'm going to explain to you why real quick. The dehumidifier operates on a simple function of it draws in the air, cools and compresses it, basically condensing it down into water, and then collects in the bucket. But that air that it draws in, that's the air that you're breathing out. You're coughing, sneezing, dog dander, bugs, that funny smell, everything that is circulating in every room, wherever it's pulling it from, is now condensed into water, which then goes into the tank. The second problem you have with that is most dehumidifiers, pretty much anyone that you can buy off the shelf at any retail place or even ordering online, they're not designed to be used like that. There are specific devices called air-to-water generators, AWGs, that are specially made for that purpose. But normal dehumidifiers, the tubing, the lining of the tanks, everything, it's using non-food grade safe material. There are chemicals that are coated on there, sealants, solvents, everything else that water comes in contact with. And when it sits inside the tank, it now breeds basically mold and bacteria and mildew. Now what you're thinking is you can just filter it. Get a filter, run it through, boil it, which would take care of some of the problems that you may have. Filtering will help with a lot of the small microbes of dust and everything. Treating it with, let's say, bleach in the right amounts can also help kill bacteria. But bacteria, being the resilient things that they are, even when you kill bacteria, they then release basically a gas, a toxin that can be as deadly or as detrimental to your health as the original bacteria. So even after the bacteria has been killed, you now have this toxin passing through with the rest of the water. Not to mention those solvents and other materials from the metals that aren't food grade safe that are leaching off to it. So you're looking at possible soldering materials, different types of metals that may not be suitable for human ingestion, all getting in there because of its contact with the inner workings inside the actual dehumidifier. And what will happen is, unless you are literally drinking it straight out of a tube right away as it's making it, you're going to store it in the tank, in bottles, wherever it may be. And then at that point, it's going to start building up that bacteria. Even after you've treated it, there's a greater chance that you still may contract some type of illness from a virus that hasn't been filtered out or any other type of bacteria or chemical. Now, in direct comparison to taking untreated water from a pond or a lake or something like that, true, there can definitely be chemicals and things in there as well. But unless you are in the middle of a major emergency situation, it would always be best to avoid drinking any type of liquid coming out of the dehumidifier. The best thing you could do as an option is the water could be used to clean off non-consumable objects. Meaning if you've been out in an area where possibly there's some contamination on your shoes, use the water to rinse the shoes off. Don't wash your clothes in it because then they're going to be in contact with your body. Don't wash your hair, your body, animals, nothing like that. Don't rinse off food or anything else like that. If you have to wash off some residue off of a vehicle so you could then gain access to the vehicle, that would be something to do. So again, I only came across this because even in my mind thinking, oh, dehumidifier makes water, you can drink the water, but I never looked further into it. But now seeing this coming up with lots of videos about that, and it may seem like a quick fix solution, but if you are in that type of situation where you have one, power to run the dehumidifier, two, the time for the dehumidifier to actually make the water, then I feel you have enough time and you definitely have power and energy somewhere around you to go out and actually just get water itself, treat it, filter it, do what you have to do the right way so you can avoid any complications. Because again, if you're that desperate, you've waited too long, and this isn't going to help your situation, because you most likely are, one, dehydrated, two, in a critical situation where if you don't get water soon, you will die. But then that leaves your body susceptible in its weakened state to the basically effects of drinking the water with all the contaminants in it. Now again, if by some chance you are in an absolute dire need to have water, and for whatever reason the water that you have is the only thing available coming out of the dehumidifier, realistically your best and probably safest, and it's not totally safe, safer option is you take that water, you run it through a 3-stage filtering process. First one for particles, second one for odor and taste using activated charcoal, third one of those high micron ceramic filters to hopefully filter out any of the actual viruses and other bacteria that may be in there. And then after it's done that, treat it with the appropriate amount of bleach, plain bleach, not the scented chemical dye gel ones, just plain bleach, and then reboil it again one more time just to be sure. That could possibly be the safer alternative that you might have in that situation. I personally, though, I feel that just storing more water and having other devices to filter and treat and purify tap water, groundwater, river water, lake water, even collecting rainwater. Again, if you are aware of a chemical hazard that is in the water system, whether it be your municipal system, whether it's something that's leaked into the groundwater, whether it's something that's airborne and it's coming down into the open area waters of rivers, lakes, and streams, then yes, avoid that. Go for bottled water. But digging into a humidifier and drinking the water produced by there, not a really good idea. So it's just a little safety tip, a little PSA. Thought I'd throw that out there because, again, I'm finding lots of videos on being able to store, bottle, and drink water from the dehumidifier, and that's just not a safe thing to do. That's it for now. I'll catch you in the next one.